What's going on, everyone? My name's Tenebris, and we just got a really slick trailer from Atomic Heart on Facility 3826, with this being the main location of Atomic Heart, housing 6 complexes across a massive facility suspended in the air and networks built into the literal earth below. It's a crazy place to set a game in, and one I look forward to exploring in just a few short weeks. But with this short promo video, we can actually tie a number of threads together here and figure out a bunch of stuff like where bosses will be, where the twins will be, and we can kind of figure out the order of these complexes, or at least take a crack at guessing. But before we do, it's awesome to announce that Atomic Heart has gone gold as of today, and that means its launch is absolutely set for February 21st on all platforms. So mark your calendars, because this is going to be a huge game from this year. So first up, let's go through the names of each of the complexes of 3826, with 6 in total, each serving as like a really clean version of a dungeon. There's going to be quite a few locations to explore across the facility. We've got Shalomi, Vavilov, VDNH, Theater, Pavlov, and the Academy of Consequences. A sick frickin' name for that last one. In Atomic Heart, you have 2 sets of maps. One being the open world, which connects to all of the complexes as a central hub. Then the complexes that will have a big chunk of plot, weapons, and all that other good stuff hidden away inside them. These are all interconnected too from the looks of things, so one complex could lead you on a journey through a total network here. Now let's go over the complexes we know so far, firstly being the locations of the twins, Shalomi. We know this because of the unique windows on the central building, and a number of cutscenes of the twins featuring these unique windows. Shalomi looms over the open world, acting as an almost fortress in the sky to house the twins. The purpose of the twins is yet to be entirely seen, but it's certain that they'll play a pivotal role in the game, and could even serve as a boss fight of their own, fighting either one or both of the twins. Shalomi could also be at the end of the game though, with a number of the cutscenes that we've seen of the twins seeming to be in the later stages of the plot. Shalomi is the really hard location to tell where it's at in the game because we've primarily just seen cutscenes in this location as opposed to solid gameplay. Now for Vavilov, and I believe that this has been shown off in the IGN review. This is likely rather early on if the rest of the footage all ties up to a similar spot in the game, and it's likely the first location where you encounter Hedgie, the giant mechanical ball boss. The arboreal chambers all line up to what's seen visually in the complex that houses the Hedgie from the IGN review. Again, I feel like this will be an early dungeon if not the first one that you enter, provided that the game goes in any sort of linear fashion. Then we have the VDNH, and this is shown off in the video Meet Pliush, a wormy looking, slightly terrifying monstrosity. A very combat-driven complex where you'll be fighting the mutated plants, zombies, and robots of the VDNH. This is matched up by the unique staircase that we could see in the infographic, also being in the main room of the Meet Pliush video. What comes after the Pliush fight is yet to be seen, but these big boss fights could be towards the final points of each complex. Likely a mid-game complex, at least looking at how difficult the Pliush fight is, you'll probably want to be pretty upgraded by the time you get to fight it. So Theater is a pretty unique map. With us only seeing small flashes of it so far along the way, we still have a bit of info that we could draw to it. From this being the place to house robots like the Clown Trap and this circus robot, it also will be the place where we fight the giant boss bot, Natasha. This big bot will show up in an area of Theater we've seen most of, which is the stage location. As with most enemies of the game, she's looking like a fittingly tough fight. For our second last complex, Pavlov, it's really cool because we both know a lot and a little about this complex, with it being the only complex to have a complete page on the website, but having probably the second least amount of footage out of all of the complexes. Pavlov is a military hospital for the mentally ill, as well as veterans of the Great Patriotic War or Russia's involvement in World War II. As one of the first complexes of Facility 3826, it has a wide amount of fields studied, from cloning to chemistry, virology, and biology. This is where a lot of polymer to living subject tests happen, like the synthesis of neuropolymers and studies on the adaptation of polymer to human and animal nervous systems, aka a big chunk of what thought is. Having such a close importance to the main plot, it's hard to say where Pavlov falls in the game. It could be an early complex or a late game, depending on how the game unfolds. There are 3 sections to the complex: the medical archives, which appear to be potentially flooded, the surgical workshop, which lives up to its name as a very industrial looking medbay, and then lastly the experimental workshop, which is pretty much entirely classified on the website. With just a short combat scene and the blurb on the website, it's gonna be cool diving into Pavlov and the last facility to find out what bosses may be there and what else they hold in store for us. Actually, okay, hold up. While making this, I found there's a small bit in the early trailers that looks like it matches up to the surgical workshops mentioned for Pavlov, with crazy blood creations, which may have something to do with all the cloning stuff going on in Pavlov. And for the last facility, a real enigma, one that I think Munfish has purposely held up their sleeve from all the promo stuff, the Academy of Consequences. There are just a couple screenshots that have been shared on Twitter of what I believe this facility will be, and it looks completely surreal. There's also a short piece of early promo content that shows off the same surreal type of environment. I feel like the Academy will be the end of the game. With an upgraded Makarov and just the lack of information and everything, it lines up that the Academy of Consequences will serve as one of the final, if not the final complex of Atomic Heart. So, funny enough, we know in one way, shape, or form about every single complex in the game, whether it's in huge detail like VDNH or is more mysterious like Shalomi or the Academy of Consequences. The simple fact is there's going to be a pretty huge amount of complexes to explore, with each having roughly at least 3 levels to them, boss fights, and probably a mountain load of plot along the way. Atomic Heart drops February 21st on all platforms, so if you haven't yet, pre-order it now and be sure to subscribe so you don't miss everything on my channel related to Atomic Heart. But for now, thank you for watching, and I will catch you all in the next one. Until then, peace.